You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. Priscilla Leona.
Hi, welcome to the Question Reality Show. I'm Priscilla Leona, producer and host of this show. And for over 22 years, this entertainment industry career advice show has given you the best tips, advice, and resource information on what it takes to make it in show business. As I said, for over 22 years, we have questioned the reality of Oscar nominees, Emmy Award winners, Grammy Award winners, Tony Award winners, reality TV stars, and just a whole plethora of award winners, seasoned showbiz professionals in front of the camera and also behind the camera who come on and they speak honestly and openly about the trials and tribulations of pursuing a career in the entertainment industry. And what our goal is for the show is to inspire, motivate, and most importantly, educate. That's very important for me. And we hope that we have a super fun time. I try to bring on guests that are fun and entertaining for you. Doesn't always happen, but most of the time it does. And we just hope you'll have a super fun time and that you'll leave the show with a head full of advice and a heart full of laughter. That is my goal. So now, I just rewrote my show intro, so let me kind of read this to you. I memorized as much as I can. Booked. If you would like to appear on the show, or if you know anyone that's interested in coming on and promoting themselves and showcasing their projects, you can go to our website, which is questionrealityradioshow.com, or you can email me personally at priscillaleona@yahoo.com. And from 2003, when we first started the show, to today, if you missed any of the past episodes, here's how you can catch up. You can go to the website, as I said, questionrealityradioshow.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel, and we have all the episodes. And we ask you for a little itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini favor. And that is, if you enjoy our guest today and you enjoy our show, would you please consider subscribing to both of us? Both of our channels. Just give us a little like, and hopefully you'll subscribe to our channels and our sites. And once you've been so kind to do that, I'm assuming you're going to do it. Just assuming. We will reciprocate. I know I will reciprocate, and I'm sure the guests will as well. And we will support your sites. That's what it's all about. Giving a little thumb, getting a little thumb. Used to be a finger, now it's a thumb. Okay. Our sites are YouTube channel at Priscilla Leona, LinkedIn, X, TikTok. That is so hard for me to say. I don't know why. At Priscilla Leona. Facebook page at Priscilla Leona. Facebook page, Question Reality Show. And website, questionrealityradioshow.com. Do you notice a theme there? You notice what's happening, which is my little tip and advice for everyone. Please try to keep it consistent when you are branding. When you're at the inception of your career, it's a perfect opportunity for you to start off right. And that means making everything across the board so people can find you. People have a 5 to 10 second attention span these days. So the best way for people to find you when they Google you is to have one, your name, or if you're going to be forever on one project or one brand, keep it consistent, because you want all your social media sites, your website to all be consistent so people can find you. Because if they have to go on Google and they say, okay, her name is Samantha, what was the Bewitch's name? Samantha, God, I can't remember. Samantha Bewitched, we'll call her. And if they type it in and they can't find you, next. It's gone. They've already seen that the professionalism has to be upped. You got to up your game, and they may wait for you and come back and revisit you again, but they want to see the professionalism immediately. It is encouraging to them to want to work with you when they see everything consistent and your branding is locked down and tight. You're tight. Okay. Now, we are on to the exciting part of the night for me, I'm sure for you too, and that is to meet the guest. And tonight we have on a lady. I met her, oh my gosh, I can't remember the year, maybe 2011, 12, or 13. I met her at the Young Music Awards, I can't remember the name of it, but I was invited to this award show for young up and coming teens and children, and I met her there. Her son David Topp, a very, very talented, gifted, and hottie, if I must say so, son was there, and that's where we met her, and we became friends and have talked periodically over the years. And she sent me a link of her latest project, which is called Eden Falls, and I was just telling her earlier that I love that name. I want to be named Eden Falls. I love it. And a little bit about her. Her name is Melanie Star Scot. Now that alone is, there you go. Isn't she cute as a button? I love that look. I love that 1920s hat. That is so gorgeous. She is a multiple award-winning director, producer, and screenwriter. And her debut film was called The Box, and it earned multiple awards, including a Bronze Telly, Best Actor for David Topp, who, again, is her son. And, I remember it was at the Young Artist Awards. And she also won for Best Costuming. And it was also acquired for worldwide television broadcast on ShortsHD TV for 3 years, which was an impressive achievement for a first-time director. That is definitely a goal. And her second film was called Quitter. And that was a satirical public service announcement on addiction. And that won a Bronze Telly for excellence in health and wellness. And her third film, Sangria Lift, I tell you, these people come up with the most brilliant titles for films. I'm really into that. I love when people come up with clever names for projects, for films, TV, and also the episode titles. I don't know why, but that just tickles me to no end when it's so creative like that. But her third film, Sangria Lift, received high praise and multiple awards. And her fourth film, which was called Phoenix 454, that was a 30-minute proof of concept for a racing film. And that will be marketed after the release of her latest project, the acclaimed action drama series, Eden Falls, which we're going to discuss today. Now, if you want to check out her sites, and again, give her a little thumb up, subscribe, here are her social media sites. Her website is topscotproductions.com. YouTube at, there it is, Eden Falls, a little late, but better late than never. YouTube is at filmmaker Melanie Star Scot. Her Facebook at Top Scot Productions. Instagram at Top Scot. She's on IMDb. Her director's show reel is on Vimeo or Vimeo. I never know how to pronounce that. And she's also on GoFundMe, and we will have to find out what the name of the project is under GoFundMe. So without further ado, let's meet Miss Melanie Star Scot. Woo! Where are you? There she is. Oh my God, it's so great to see you again. We haven't seen each other since we went to, what was that restaurant? It was that Genghis Khan Chinese restaurant on
Yes.
tracks that you have to park like 1,400 blocks away to get us. It was, oh my God, we couldn't even find our car. We lost it.
It was for your birthday.
It was. See, you have such a great memory. I couldn't even remember where we met. Albert my husband was asking me, and I said, I know it was at award show. What was it? And then you put it in the notes. And I said, oh my gosh, now how did I get to that show? Then I remembered my friend Pamela, her daughter Gigi was one of the recipients of award. So it's been a long time. Wait, what year was that?
It was 2012 or 13.
I knew it.
Actually, I think it was the fall of 2012, I think.
Yeah, that sounds more like it, because I had just produced a film called Fraction, and then there was another. Yeah, I think you're right. It was right after Fraction. Hot dog. So, but you were living here in LA then, and now you are in the wild horse area of North Carolina. All my friends and my associates are moving to North Carolina. What's going on there? Because I bought land there in 2007. Of course, I've been trying to sell the damn thing since 2007. We bought 2 acres with a boat dock, but we thought we were going to flip it in the weekend. And Melanie, we bought it a week before the big crash in 2008. We couldn't get rid of that thing. And we still have it. We're like, please, somebody buy it. Please buy it. We'll just let you pay the loan off, which is, I think we only have like $8,000. But everybody is moving North Carolina. So I think I'm going to be able to sell it soon. What's going on over there?
I'm not sure what's going on that would bring people here, because we were hit very badly by Hurricane Helene last September. And it just kind of decimated my hometown. Damage that's never been seen before. I mean, entire communities wiped off the map. We had no power for weeks, no water for months. It was a very dystopian living lifestyle. So, and we actually had a bit of a mass exodus. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of houses for sale out there right now. So it's a different world. It is a very, very different world for sure.
Son of a bitch. I swear.
Exactly.
Because first we have the damn stock market crash. I can't sell it. And then I think, okay, we'll hold it. But somebody please buy it. And now they got, after Hurricane Helene, nobody wants to move there, huh?
Well, hey, I mean, my son and I are looking for land. We need to go out there and look at it. Maybe we'll buy it.
Well, you know what? I don't want to turn this into a real estate show, but it is a gorgeous corner lot property with a gazebo, and there's a boat dock, and it was a steal. And we're not even asking for anything other than the amount we paid off. So you got to take a look at it. We didn't know we don't know where it is because we never been there. We bought it sight unseen from a friend. Do you know where the Perquimans River is? It's like right over the Virginia border, right by the Atlantic Ocean. Nobody knows where the hell I'm talking about. I said, where is this place? Is this a mythical land? Nobody knows where it is. I said,
you need to send me the address and we'll go.
We don't have an address. It's a lot 47.
Well, it has to have a street, right?
No street yet. Because what happened was when the people, when they were buying the land, there were only 33 properties that were left. But then the stock market hit, everybody either foreclosed or sold the land. So the developer never bothered. I don't even know what's going on because Melanie, we used to get our HOA dues every year. We would get a paper that would have either Cheetos fingerprints on it or fried chicken grease on the paper.
No.
Just a P.O. box, no address, no phone number, no website. And that went on till, I guess, a couple of the people who built there formed the HOA with like a board. So now they're like getting it together and it's coming. There's like professionals up in there now. But let's talk about that, because it would be a great place for you to, film, at least if you need some land. And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we need to talk about that later.
Talk about it. I can send you pictures, and then I'd like you to go by and take a look and tell me what's going on, because my friend drove by there a couple of years ago. She said, "Oh my God, Priscilla, the grass is like 12 feet high." I'm paying these people to mow the lawn. I don't know what's going on. I guess I shouldn't be telling you that when I'm trying to sell it to you. Now let's talk about Eden Falls. And from what I've gathered, Eden Falls blends drama and action and Southern humor. And I wanted to know, my first question is, what inspired you to create this unique combination? First of all, what were you on Eden Falls? Producer, director, screenwriter? What were your titles?
All the above.
Oh, okay, good. I'm asking the right question. Okay, so what inspired this unique combination that you came up with?
Well, it was after I had shot the proof of concept for Phoenix, and I was pondering what should be my next project, kind of putting it out there to the universe. And I felt very strongly led that the viewing public wants to see lighter viewing, because we are bombarded daily, whether it's the local news or the social media, and all of our entertainment, it kind of highlights all of the darkest traits of humanity. And there's so much dystopian stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a lot of links to articles in like Variety and Hollywood Reporter, all of these studies that's been done where people want to see lighter things because they have enough horrible things coming at them from all angles, right?
Yeah.
And everything that I have done to this point has been just aiming towards feature films. And so I thought maybe I would give it a shot to try a series. I'd never written a television series before. And so they say write about what you know. So I picked a theme that's very near to my heart, which is a tiny little town here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. And because of the population explosion, they are struggling to hang on to the beauty of what they have. Everybody wants to come to the small towns because they're so quaint and lovely, and life is slower and quieter and sweeter. And people still watch out for other people's children on the streets, and kids are still safe to play in the streets and all of that. And so then the population explosion happens, and farmlands are lost, and houses pop up and developments. And so that's what this show is about. It is a sweet little town it's a fictional town that lies along the Appalachian Trail, that until this A-list celebrity builds a opulent golf resort, buys up some old farm property, which is a very, very real thing here, buys hundreds of acres of old farm property that used to be a homestead, and turns it into this glamorous, opulent country club and resort. And therefore, bringing people from all over the world into this tiny little town, and these sweet little people have no idea what's going on. They're kind of bombarded by all of these and celebrities. See, that also increases the possibility for a celebrity guest star in every episode,
Right?
Because you have the country club.
Now, how does the show's, there's horses, lots of horses, beautiful horses. So I want to know, how does the show's equine therapy theme, which I think you have a lot. I think that you're really into horses, but maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But how does the equine therapy theme contribute to the overall message of healing and resilience that you have going on?
Well, the equine community is very underserved when it comes to entertainment. I am a lifelong horse lover since I got my first pony at 11. Kind of obsessed with learning all that I can. I've trained several. I've owned several. And a genuine horse lover, it is very hard for us to watch things that are made by people who don't know anything about horses. And we kind of scream and grunt and, you know. There's one show that really comes the closest to getting it right, and that is the show called Heartland. It's out of Canada. They are currently in their 18th or 19th season with essentially the same core cast. They hold the record for Canada's longest running television show in history because they have such a loyal following of, equine people, horse people from all disciplines. And the interesting thing is I began writing Eden Falls in 2018 and finished it in 2019. And in the late fall of 2019, I saw my first episode of Heartland. And I just kind of sat there and I saw the parallels. And so that was another thing that made me think, this really has a chance of being popular with the viewers, because look at them, and mine has a lot of parallels with that. But the horses come because it is a horse community. And our lead actress, her name is Allie. She has horses. And there is also a family, 2 ladies. They're very funny, comical, eccentric ladies. And they run a stable and rent out trail rides and so forth. So there's lots of horses. And this young girl comes into Allie's life who's been removed from an abusive home. And through that, we see this journey of how this downtrodden, abused, neglected little girl who's afraid of her own shadow, and how she is healed through the power of horses.
It's funny that we're talking about horses, because I became a producer last year. I was asked to become a producer on a show by this lady who is an equestrian, and she has like a ranch full of horses, and she's a horse lover. And the show is it's called An Eye for an Eye, and it's about a horse lover trainer who has a ranch. She's an equestrian, and I'm going to hook you up with her because she actually is auctioning off one of her horses as a fundraiser for the film to turn it into a feature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she's moving, I believe, to LA in the summer. So we'll be able to work more on the show. But she is horse obsessed, and she knows so
I can relate
in the horse community, and she's got to bring all those horses from Arizona to Orange County. So I think I'm going to become more familiar with horses as we go. But I think you should definitely meet her, because I think you two would be able to work on a future horse show or horse project together, because she loves anything horses.
That's very possible. But you don't have to ride horses to receive benefits. There is a whole lot of science about the electronic signature that a horse's heart puts out and the field around them. And if you just go and spend time with a horse, groom them, pet them, touch them, you come away feeling better, and you don't really know why.
Yeah.
And there's so much cool history or science behind it. If you look up a company called Heart Math, they go into all of the fascinating science as to how it works and how they heal and why you feel better just being around horses. It's a very real thing.
Everybody tells me that, and I watch all the shows. I watch Dr. Pol, and he's really big on reiterating that constantly. So I got to go get me a horse.
How you feel better when you go to the beach? You go to the beach and you're on the water, and you have your feet in the sand, and even if you don't get in the water,
I'm highly allergic to the sun. Don't even say that.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. You did tell me that a long time ago. I forgot.
Give me something like, you know how when you bite into a ribeye? Yeah, take me from there.
Okay. Well, you know how you feel better when you bite into a ribeye?
Yes, I do.
That's how you feel when you've been around horses.
Oh, I love it already. Let me ask you, what challenges did you face in developing a series that balances entertainment with the community impact?
You know, honestly, the only challenge are the standard industry challenges of just getting your foot in the right door. When it comes to writing it, this was one of those projects, and I know you've heard people say this before, whether they wrote a song or, you know, a best-selling song or a best-selling novel, and they say, I didn't write it, it wrote itself. That's the way Eden Falls was.
Yeah.
It wrote itself. And from the very first draft of the scripts, and I sent it out to like 15 people to tweak it and proof it for me, every single person got back to me and said, oh my God, Melanie, I want to see this. This is great. And that was my first rough drafts, right?
Mm-hmm. And you used a lot, talk about community, you used a lot of people from your community to participate in making the film, right? Didn't you cast actors from the community behind?
I did my casting through Actors Access. So we did put, because I have very, very specific roles. And so I did put it out to the entire Southeast. And so we pulled actors. There's some from right here in my town. There's some from Atlanta. There's some from Nashville. There's a couple from Charlotte, North Carolina, but you know, all Southeastern actors. Yes.
Who are the lead characters and their names and what who their characters are?
Well, when I first wrote this, I did kind of have a vision, and I saw these three people in my mind. There's a white 40-something-year-old woman, and her name is Alcedona, and she goes by Allie for short. There's a 40-something-year-old man, and his name is Montgomery Beckett, and he goes by Beckett and won't let anybody call him Montgomery. It's a name his mother gave him that he hates. And there is a 60-year-old African-American woman named Delcy. And I saw their faces and I heard their names, and that's my triple threat. Those three are my main characters of the show. And it does primarily focus on Allie. She is the town's natural healer. She's the midwife, and she often, it's a very poor community. She often treats people for free, or, you know, like in the old days, she may treat someone and they give her a dozen eggs, you know, like it's that kind of thing. And what was your question? I got that.
That's okay. I just wanted you to give the names of the lead characters and who their names as actors, and then the character names, which you've done.
Allie is played by Dharma Richards. She's a hometown girl from right here in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
She's a very specific character, and you know, I auditioned a lot of ladies, a lot of wonderful actresses, and nobody came close. And she actually found me. She didn't submit through Actors Access. She heard about it through someone and emailed me to my professional, my business email address. And she said, I know this is a no-no, but this role speaks to me. And when she sent me an audition tape, I just sat there and went, that's her. That is her. And this woman lives the life that I created in my mind of how Allie lives. And then the lead male, Montgomery Beckett, he's played by Jonathan Gorman out of Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And my sweet Delcy character, she's kind of based on a lady who had a profound impact on my life as a young girl when I was about 8. And she is played by Judy Steiner Gray, and she's if I'm not mistaken, forgive me, Judy, if I get it wrong, I think she's in Nashville. I know she's in Tennessee because she had to drive a long way to get here for the premiere.
Now, the proof of concept trailer that I saw, that really received high praise. And I wanted to know what what aspects of the show do you think resonate most with audiences? Because it got such high praise. What kind of stuck out the strongest with the
I think everybody, well, one of the most common comments that I got was how beautiful it was.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other one was that it was a feel-good show, and they could have their kids could watch it, or their grandkids could watch it.
I was so impressed with the opening. I don't know who your DP was, but just did a phenomenal job with the opening shots and the B-roll. I don't know who that was, but whoever it was, I'd love to give him or her credit.
Let me shout out some praise for him, because he has worked for me before. As far as I'm concerned, he will always be a part of the Topp Scot family. He's there in LA. I had entered when I shot Quitter. I interviewed a lot of DPs, and he stood out high and above everyone.
What's his name?
So his name is Matt Fore, Fore. Please look him up and look up his IMDb.
Look him up. I want him on my show, Melanie. Make it happen.
He would be thrilled. He would be thrilled.
I was so impressed. I'm like, oh my God, look at that shot. Oh my God, look at that. That's what I'm into. You know, I love, B-roll and the scenery. And I love how I wanted to know, oh my God, did he use a drone? Did he do a helicopter? So I have so many questions. So I would love for you to, get him to contact me to book him for the show. And we'll talk about Eden Falls.
Oh, I'd be happy to. And let me please also do a shout out to our editor, who's also in LA.
Yeah.
We had some challenges with our sound. Let me just say that. And Matt Fore is the one who connected me to him. He is a professional trailer maker, editor, and he hails from Spain. He trained at UCLA, and he basically saved my project. His name is Vicente Perez.
I want him on the show too. I am obsessed with trailer makers. Sometimes, remember how you see trailers and you go, oh my God, I want to see it. And then you go see the project. You're like, wah, wah. And then that editor was so effing cool to make it. I wouldn't spend $32 on a movie just from the trailer. And then it sucked, but the trailer was so good. So I am really impressed with it. Please.
I lost you. I don't know if you've lost me or not.
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. While we're trying to get the sound back, I will continue. I'm going to continue. Let me know when you hear me. Okay. So what we're talking, okay, there I am all by myself. But as I was saying, while we're looking for Melanie, Albert, are you aware that Melanie has left the building? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about my obsession with people who make trailers. Where are these people? I tell you, there you are. I'm still talking about my love of trailer editors here.
I'm so glad you did, because that gave me a moment to get it back.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about Matt Fore and Vicente. I can't remember what you said.
Vicente Perez. The thing is, and this is a part of how I have created every show, everything that I've done. I look for the most talented people that I can find, but as importantly or more importantly, they just need to be good humans.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Matt Fore as my DP and Vicente Perez, they're just such good people. These are the kind of people, once you find them, you want to grab them and never let go.
You want them in your clique, like Steven Spielberg puts everybody in his clique. Well, hook me up, girl. I want to have them on my show to promote them because they're very talented. What was now we were talking about Hurricane Helene. How did your personal experience with Hurricane Helene influence the vision behind your project, Eden Falls? Like, I know you talked a little bit about it earlier, but maybe was it so powerful? Like, is that what made you create Eden Falls for real?
No, the way that worked out is I actually started writing Eden Falls in 2018 and I
Right,
finished it in 2019.
right.
Um, and I always, I wrote it kind of as a love letter to my mountains here in Western North Carolina, kind of like we were talking about preserving what we have and preserving it on film, preserving the vision in a story. But I always knew that more than likely I would have to, I'd have to concede. I wanted to shoot it here, but I knew I would have to concede and I would probably have to sell it to a studio. And they would take it to LA or to Toronto or one of the many small European countries where it's much cheaper to film. And I always knew that. But when we were so decimated and damaged by Hurricane Helene, filming it here just took on a whole new level of importance for me. Because we lost so much of our tourism. We lost so many people. We lost so many businesses. Our area relies on tourism for people's literal survival. And we lost a lot of that. So I want to be a part of not only putting a beautiful show out there that is good entertainment with positive messages. My things that I write, I want people to feel better. Whatever I write, when you read it, when you watch it, I want you to feel better afterwards. And so it's not all about putting, good uplifting entertainment out into the world, but I also want now to be a part of helping to restore, economically to our area.
Right.
So I want to hire all locals. I want to shoot it here. I want to hire all locals. I want to build sets here, rent warehouse space and build sets, which would put a lot of people to work. And so there's all these different things that I can do to help stimulate the economy, which will also, I want to put the word out there to the world that Western North Carolina is back open for business to try to get our tourism back here. But we're taking it a step further. I created a company called Project Eden Falls LLC. And the intention is that a portion of proceeds of what we raised is going to go to local businesses who are still to this day feeding, clothing, and housing those who lost everything in Hurricane Helene. We still have people sleeping in cars and sleeping in tarps and tents.
My God, really?
Still to this day. It's been 9 months now, and there are villages of campers, storage sheds, tents, all along the highway. In certain places, there are people under all the underpasses sleeping in tents. It was really, really
These are people who
destructive.
had homes before
Yes.
this happened.
Between the mudslides and the flooding, there were entire neighborhoods taken out.
Wow. So what's being done to get their, I assume they had insurance, homeowners insurance. Have they gotten the homeowners insurance? Have they?
Oh, that part I don't know, but I know a lot of people applied for help from FEMA, and some people got help and a lot of people didn't. There's been a lot of promises from the government that were not delivered upon. It's bad, but we do have some wonderful organizations here. There's one organization here called Beloved Asheville, and they literally just opened up a tiny home village of all new tiny homes in a village to put people in. So those are the people we're going to put money, we're going to give money to.
Oh my God. I love that so much, Melanie, because my husband and I thought we want to live in a tiny home, but they won't let us do that.
Go online and do a Google search for Beloved, Beloved, Asheville. You will be so amazed and inspired of what they're doing for Western North Carolina.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I definitely will. Now, you were telling me in an email that you have a Hollywood executive who's backing the series, and I wanted to know what key insights has their or have they or their team or their I guess the industry experience that they brought to the project.
Oh, he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's been the missing piece that we've needed. He's created a deck that makes it sound better than I knew it was.
Wow. Now, what can you tell us about him? I know he was a Hollywood executive without, revealing too much. What experience how did you meet him, and what experience does he bring to the project? And why did he want to be associated with your project?
That's all really good questions. He was, I had met this lady on LinkedIn, and just by chance, she kind of became somewhat of a mentor to me. And she heard about all of the things that had been going on and everything with Hurricane Helene. And she said, Melanie, you are one connection away from success beyond your wildest dreams. And she said, I'm going to introduce you to this person. And so she made the introduction, and we had numerous Zoom calls over several months because he's very busy. He's in high demand. I don't want to say too much at this early stage of the game, of course, but he was 20 years a VP executive in global distribution for one of the largest, oldest, most famous studios in LA. And then he also worked 4 years at the Academy for the Oscars before he went out on his own. So you can imagine the Rolodex, the vast number of connections that this man has.
Yeah.
And when he read it, he liked the story, he liked the characters, but he was really attracted to the grassroots effort and all of the community support that we're getting. We have the support of several local businesses and organizations. The show has an element of search and rescue, and I'm working with the local search and rescue who keeps it all authentic for me. So he really loves the local support and the grassroots part and the community part of all of this.
Is he in North Carolina or is he in LA still?
He lives in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
And he's just been absolutely phenomenal. And he's created a deck for investors, and it shows 3 different tiers of what we would need. Now, let me back up and say, this man has enough connections. He could get me a deal if I wanted to sell it. But if I take money from a studio or a network, then we essentially forfeit control, and it will go shoot in Toronto or LA or East, Europe. And so in order to keep it here, and our guy, he's fully on board and supports us to do it here. So we're going to try to do everything here. But to do that, we have to be self-funded. So we're trying to raise $500,000 to get the series started. And then, we'll just have to...
At your goal, so your goal for Eden Falls is to become a series. Are you talking about on a streaming platform, on a television on a network, or cable?
We're going to aim for the highest and see where we land.
Which is what for those who don't know?
So that would be like major networks. For me personally, that would be ABC, NBC, CBS. But then, there's all the platforms. There's the Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and Apple and all of Netflix and all of that. And so he could get us that money, but we're gonna do our best to be self-funded so we can keep it here. It's very authentically Appalachian. It's very authentic. It's very authentic Blue Ridge Mountains. So he's gonna help me with that. But the cool thing is he sees so many, and I kind of wish he were here, but because he can speak so intelligently about it. But he sees the value in it. He's in very high demand. So let me, accentuate it by saying he doesn't need us.
Yeah.
He doesn't need us at all. He took on this project because of what it is, what it stands for, and everything. And he sees the potential for success. He can lay out, and he's done beautifully. He's done a beautiful job in the deck of laying out all of the aspects of the show and all of the projections of success, of profit, and all of that. So he's not only determined to make a series, he's determined to make it a successful franchise. We are right now deciding if we want to do a 2-hour movie first, and that be our backdoor pilot, or if we just want to go ahead and shoot a 2-hour pilot and go forth that way. But he's determined for us to make a franchise which would consist of the series, a 2-hour movie, a novel series, as well as custom merchandise for Eden Falls.
Right. Now, for those of you who don't know what she's talking about, she keeps saying the word deck. And most of you who are not in the entertainment industry do not know what that is. She's talking about a pitch deck. And Melanie, why don't you tell the people who are listening what a pitch deck is that this man, this Hollywood executive, has created for you? What is a pitch deck?
I will try my best. I have a pitch deck myself that's about 21 pages.
Yeah.
And so he took that and built an industry standard pitch deck. So the first thing it does is introduce the show and the characters, and it gives you comparables. You know, like, you know, for me personally, I wrote Eden Falls to be kind of a cross between the show Justified with Timothy Oliphant and Heartland with a little southern, little Steel Magnolias humor thrown. He sees Eden Falls as, he calls it, in the sweet spot, the underserved market between Yellowstone, the grit of Yellowstone, and the sweetness of When Calls the Heart. He's like, you were in the perfect place in between that. So then once he does that and he outlines all of the aspects of the show, you know, there's healing and redemption, there's abuse and neglect, there's search and rescue, there's equine therapy, there's midwifing and natural healing and apothecary. There's all these elements of the show. And it comes with a very large ensemble cast. So there's just, you know, endless storylines that go. But then he goes into all of the stuff that's way over my head that I have no desire to learn, which is all of the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, it's for the people who are looking to put their money into the show. And it's page after page of, for me, which is kind of mind numbing. So I'm the creative and he's the business part.
Yeah. So a pitch deck, for those of you who don't know, that has to be done in order to so-called sell the film or pitch it to people to invest or to possibly buy it or to option it. So that's what a pitch deck is. And you want to put, like she said, there's a lot of financial stuff, which I agree with Melanie. I don't want to touch and talk about, but you have to. And that's why you need a professional to do it for you. But some of the things, as she said, was you have to say, okay, well, Eden Falls is sort of like our target audience, or people that might like it, or people who like Desperate Housewives or When Calls the Heart, which that's totally not even in the same ballpark. But I'm just trying to think of shows. So you just name a lot of shows that Eden Falls would be comparable to. Then you also have to say, because a lot of times when you're pitching to people, these are not necessarily creative. So you have to be very detailed in giving them as much information as possible. So you would say something like, okay, well, our show is comparable to this show and this show and this show. Then you have to say, our goal is we would love to have Halle Berry. We'd love to have Tom Cruise. We'd love to have, you name the different actors and actresses that you would love to have as the stars, or people that are already attached. So it's a very detailed thing that you have to do to pitch when you're at that level. So It is great, Melanie, that you have someone like this Hollywood executive. We'll call him Mr. John Doe. No, we don't want to call him that. That means he might have a toe tag. Mr. Moneybags. Okay, so we'll call him, you know, you're very lucky that you have that. Not a lot of people would ever have access to that. So I hope that it works out, that he's able to help you guys. You know, people out here have 5-second attention spans. So they're like, oh, yeah, I want to help you. And then they're gone. You can't get them on the phone.
Well, okay. He's already talked to quite a few of his colleagues.
Oh, that's good.
And he's very excited about the feedback that he's getting. They're all telling him that it is a very interesting premise, what we've got going on here. Yeah. And I wanted to say, too, because you wanted this to be educational, I did create my own pitch deck. It's about 21 pages. Lots of visuals,
Yeah,
lots of visuals to give people, if you're pitching it to an executive, you want them to see it.
that's right.
And people who had looked at my pitch deck, of course, I'd show it to anybody who I could get to sit down long enough to look at it. And everybody said it was one of the best pitch decks they'd ever seen. But when he came in and put his spin on it, it took it to a whole new level. And when we're talking about comparables, it's visually gorgeous, but there's this one page and it has about 6 different television shows of what Eden Falls could be a combination of. And there is a column of data that shows how much money each one made and all of these different things.
Very detailed.
You could sell this show on that one page alone.
Oh yeah. Oh, pitch deck.
But
they're so much fun to create. They really are. My major was in business administration with a minor in marketing. So when you say pitch deck, my eyes just light up. I'm like, oh God, I love to do that because I'm very detail oriented and I have like a little OCD going on for things like that. So that just floats my boat. So I could talk about pitch decks and things all night. But Eden Falls, now what I think that it aims to contribute to, you're saying economic redevelopment, and how do you see the production benefiting local businesses and workers?
Because I'm figuring we would have at least 200 employees, if not more.
Oh,
so you got to think about all of the people that you would put to work.
Right.
And when we're talking about constructing our own interior sets in warehouses, that takes a lot of tradespeople, especially a lot of carpenters and electricians and and plumbers and all the people who do the grounds work. I mean, it's a lot of jobs. But then, and not everybody can come from here because some of the positions they have to have experience working on a set.
Yeah. Right.
And so, more than likely there's going to be some people coming from Atlanta and some coming from Wilmington in the Charlotte area. There's film industries there. So they're going to be coming into town because it'll be a 3-month shoot. They'll bring their families. They're going to be patronizing all the local, they'll be patronizing,
hotels, motels, your restaurants,
your coffee shops, your grocery stores, your gas stations.
Oh, I see it.
And it's kind of like when a film production comes to town, it's a little bit like the circus.
It is.
But it brings, as long as you are a responsible production company, which we are, it brings its own energy into a town. And this area needs it. This area needs that uplift.
Wow.
Plus, we have our local station here is WLOS, which is an ABC affiliate. They've already interviewed us and shown us on the news a couple of times. And one of their oldest, most beloved reporters, he's on board with us. In fact, he might be a character in the show. And so I'm meeting with them again. His name is Rex Hodge. And people just love him. He's just one of those beloved reporters. Whenever he has something on TV, you just watch it.
What part of North Carolina are you in, Melanie?
We are in the western part of the state up in the mountains.
And what's that area called?
Well, it's just called Western North Carolina.
It's called Western North Carolina. Okay.
But
is
we
that Blue Ridge
we are in Buncombe County. And I have plans to do exterior shots in 5 different mountain counties here.
Okay. But Buncombe County. Is that, I only know like the big areas. So I'm trying to visualize. I know I've heard of Charlotte and I've heard of
It's Asheville. It's Asheville, North Carolina.
I've heard of Asheville. Okay. So that's
the little Paris of the South.
Oh, the little Paris of the South. I like that. Now, Eden Falls, what sets, I know you're biased, but just try, what sets Eden Falls apart from other small town dramas currently in the industry?
Well, for me,
What
the
are
number one
small-time dramas that you could think of that would, you think your Eden Falls would be set apart from? I can't think of any. Like, the only ones I just think of is the ones you said, like Wind Calls the Heart, but I don't think that's in North Carolina. Or I don't think, oh God, I don't even know any small-time dramas because I watch all British shows on BritBox and Acorn. I don't even know, Melanie, but what sets Eden Falls apart, do you think, from?
I think the number one thing that sets it apart is that it's very easy to tell who the good guys are.
Oh, I like that.
There are a lot of shows out there where the so-called good guys, or the people that you're rooting for, they're kind of as bad as the bad guys,
Yeah.
or worse.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I know I'm tired of seeing all of the betrayal and the vindictiveness and murder. Like, everything is murder, 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 murder.
Yes. Murder, sex. It's just, it never goes away. I don't know. People just want to see it. Murder, sex, drugs, killing. I mean, I love my network shows. I love, but I don't watch as much of that as I do shows from Australia and England and foreign shows. I prefer foreign television, but I do like my FBI's. I like my Chicago's, and I like my Law and Order. That's it. That's all I watch on network television. But that's just because I've been watching them for 20 something years. So I'm invested. But I swear to God, I don't know, Melanie, if you noticed this, but okay, so you'll have an FBI show. And then that's Tuesday. Wednesday, you'll have Chicago, and Thursday. Within those three different types of shows, they almost have the same identical storyline. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't I see this already? And they're all new shows. It's just terrible. Boring. I'm tired of it. But what are you going to do? I know I often ask people this. Do you think we've come to the end of the line in music and in storytelling? Because I cannot imagine what else you could possibly talk about. I don't know what other songs you could write. I don't know what other movies you could write. I wish I did. I wish I was hopeful. But, Melanie, I know you're aware of this. AI is coming in and sweeping everybody's job under the carpet because they've got you. Melanie, do you realize that if you wanted, you say you can't sing, you've never written a song, you don't play an instrument, but you want to, you go into an AI program, you say, okay, my name's Melanie Star Scot, and I want to write a country song that I can sing and I sound like Loretta Lynn. And the song is about my dog and this and that and that. And you hit enter. Done. You can't even tell that it's not a real singer, Melanie. This is where it's going. It is super scary. If you're you don't have to be a screenwriter. You can say, okay, I want to Eden Falls. I want to write Eden Falls, and I want it to be about horses. I want it to take place in this place and that place and this place. You hit enter, boom, screenplay done. Where in the hell where are the artists going to go, Melanie? What do you see our future with this AI?
From a creator's standpoint, I have been avoiding AI like the plague because of that very reason.
Yes, yeah.
But once you are a creator, I did learn that it does have its place in helping you. Just for example, because pitching is my nemesis, right?
Yeah.
I am a creative. I just want to write it. I want to be on set and I want to shoot it. That's what I want to do.
Right.
Pitching is my nemesis, but I can ask ChatGPT, can you please give me a 30-second pitch, elevator pitch for this?
Yeah,
Boom.
I know. You can
but
get
it comes up with things that I
board.
would never think of. And he writes
know.
things, and I'm like, oh my God, you make it sound so great. I've been trying to write that for 4 years.
Yes. Yes. It'll make you don't even need to hire someone to do your storyboards anymore. You just type in and you hit enter. Boom, storyboards for the whole film done
But
instantly.
you know why I think it's not going to necessarily be trouble for the people writing screenplays is because through this executive, I have learned really truly how deeply in trouble Hollywood has been for several years. And now there
As
is
you
such
warned
a
about-
risk aversion.
Yeah.
There's such a risk aversion in the industry. They have a very narrow path that they will walk, they being the people buying the shows and making the choices of what's, and they only buy what has a proven track record of
Yeah.
success. And that's why there's, 14 spinoffs of this and 15 spinoffs of that. That's and just and they'll buy the IP, they will buy intellectual property from successful books. So if you can write a successful book series and get a viewership that way, that's a good way to get your foot in the door.
That's
But
scary.
let me tell you, you were talking about like you don't know what else you can write. There are so many talented writers telling the most wonderful, amazing, uplifting stories, and they can't get their thing seen because those who are calling the shots are sticking only to the Chicagos and the Law and Orders and the Grey's Anatomies, and they're sticking to that, and they're too afraid to
Yeah.
look at newcomers because their job is on the line.
Yeah.
If they make a mistake and they put something out there and it doesn't fly, they're gone.
That's right. They want to stick with the tried and true. They don't want to take that risk. Now, as you work to turn this series into hopefully a franchise, what expansion plans excite you the most?
Expansion for the show.
Yeah, when you're looking to turn it into a series, so you're going to have an expansion plan. And okay, like for example, okay, Eden Falls now is just this, but I plan on seeing it go here, and I want to expand it in this area. I want to expand it in this to streaming eventually. What do you? It would be in your pitch deck. What did the Hollywood executive say that he plans to expand on?
Well, there's enough material there, and I wrote it deliberately with this intent. And this man is smart enough and experienced enough that he saw it. But it's written so that in the hands of a talented writer's room, it could easily run 10 to 15 years like Heartland has done. So,
Right.
of course, I hope we start out with either the 2 hour movie or a 2 hour pilot. And I hope we run for 10, 15 years. And
Yeah.
I already have a character written in the show who will take over when the current lead female might want to go do something else.
Ah,
This one's being groomed to step into her place.
oh, that's
Uh,
great.
there's just endless storylines upon storylines. But as far as something that excites me, I'm a book nerd. I've always been a book nerd. I would love to see it be a successful novel series.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it evolves. I hope I'm the lead writer. Who knows what's going to happen. I hope
Yeah.
I'm the lead writer, and I'm working with two other talented writers, and we just have to see where it goes, where we can
Yeah.
take it.
It sounds exciting. How can, because right now I believe you are at the point where you're looking for investors and supporters to get involved in bringing Eden Falls to more, it's already living, but more livelihood in the project. How can people get involved and support it? And what do you want? Where do you want to guide us?
The best thing, in my opinion, is to contact me directly through my Gmail address, and it's easy. It's Top Scott Productions at Gmail. So that's TOPP, two P's in top, one T in Scott Productions at Gmail. You can just reach out to me personally.
Right.
We also do have a GoFundMe page that's out there. If you, and I can put people in touch with that. What I would love to do, anybody who's interested, invested, I'd like to talk with them personally and get them on a Zoom call with our studio exec, because he's the one who can really talk all the business end of it much, much better than I can. But here's another thing I didn't get to tell you too, is that, in the series, what brings on such a massive change and arc in the show is that an A-lister opens up a opulent golf resort. So we have the owner of an opulent golf resort who is going to let us use his country club and golf and golf and all that for filming. He's also talking about investing. Here's the really cool part. We're organizing a benefit golf tournament that will put money into the show. And they're planning to make it an annual event.
Wow.
And we've got a website that's partially up right now. There's a golf app. I'm not a golfer personally, but there's a golf app, and it's called like Golf Status or something. But I think you could probably find it if you were to Google first annual Eden Falls Open Golf Tournament. And it's out there, but I can also send people to that too.
Wow.
So, there's all kinds of ways to invest, whether you want to throw money in or come play golf, at the tournament, or especially if we could get a couple of celebrities to make an appearance at the golf tournament, that's going to send money to these local it's going to get the show off the ground, but also send money to these organizations who are out there literally going tent to tent to tent, serving people, giving people food and clothes and medicine and all that. That's where some of the money is going to be going as well.
I was just talking to a friend of mine. Was that last week or the week before? He was a huge celebrity. I don't want to mention his name, but he was a huge celebrity on a show that lasted a very long time. And he was out golfing. And I was talking to him about something, and then I felt the need to throw in a golf joke. And not being a golfer, I did it, and I knew I shouldn't have done it. And he said, "You have just cost me a game with reading that joke." So, but anyway, I was just thinking about that. So send me the pitch deck. I can forward it to him. I mean, he can look at it if he wants to, pursue it. He'll have your contact information. But it just triggered my mind because he was telling me, "Priscilla, you would love golf." No, I wouldn't. Nope, not interested at all. But yeah, so send me that. I want to just briefly ask. You know what I want to do? I want to show the videos of your projects, and I'm not sure what the technical guy pulled out. I told him just pick a couple. So he picked the ones that he liked. So I want to show some video clips. It does include Eden Falls. And then I think it includes all the other projects that I had mentioned earlier that you worked on, all four of your films. But whatever it was on YouTube, basically. Well, we'll see. So we're going to watch that. And then when we come back, we'll end the show with just you giving advice to, I'll probably pick one question for actors, one for directors, and one for producers that you can help change their life with your sage advice. So,
I did think of something else. You asked me what sets Eden Falls apart. What are people drawn to, like when they watch that proof of concept?
yes.
I said one of the things is it's easy to tell who the good guys are, and people talk about how beautiful it is. But hands down, people are drawn to the story of the young girl and the horse.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I still cry every time I watch it. I've only
Yeah.
seen it 450 times by this. I still get teary-eyed when I see her scenes pop up.
Oh, well, I wonder if he chose those. Let's see. So we're going to watch some of Melanie Star Scot's projects. When we come back, we're going to get her advice and tips and resource information. And hopefully that will spark you and give give you some extra mojo. So without further ado, here are some projects by Melanie Star Scot.
Julia, do you believe that love can last for all eternity?
Yes, I do, dear.
There's nothing showing,
The
unfortunately.
love that you and Levi have. You're one.
Julia, do you believe that love can last for all eternity?
Yes, I do, dear. Especially the love that you and Levi have. You're one lucky girl, Rebecca.
Are you out of your mind?
You better believe that I'm gonna fight for what is right.
For what is right?
If you find me in your sights, pull the trigger. Because I won't hesitate.
So be it.
Personally, I never really believed in fairy tales until I heard all these beautiful love stories that my Aunt Melanie would tell me. The love that those two shared. That's the kind of love that everyone wants.
The proof of their love is in this old box.
I want the fairy tale, and I'm willing to wait for it.
I remain forever and eternally yours, your beloved Levi.
But I pray we will meet again, and that I will once again find peace in your arms.
I will always come back to you. I promise.
I estimate our chances of getting away with this are 78% against us.
The whole night is ours. We can capture anything we want to capture right now.
Okay, the hype was real. It was good.
It was real, and it is real.
Yeah, it was.
Definitely.
What are you doing?
But, bro, we're talking hard time here.
If you didn't want to do it, all you had to do was say so.
Guys, get me out of the car. Stop the cars.
I'm gonna pull over.
You see the hairdo coming out of the back?
I can't just pull over.
Babe, my car's gone.
Not. No.
None of that's gonna happen.
Oh, God, help me.
Hey, what are you doing with that little girl?
Thank you.
Isn't that amazing that you're looking at your work, like things you've created in the past? By the way, we didn't mention that gorgeous hottie was your son, David Topp. How the hell is he? I haven't seen him since he was a little boy. Is he still acting? What's he doing?
No, when we were out in LA, I had gone out there. We knew, let me back up. We knew that we would go to LA at some point because he was very serious about his career.
Yeah.
And so, but I always told him from the time he was about 14, I said, look, I will give LA 2 years and then Mama's coming back home to the mountains. And that's exactly what I did. So when I was coming back to North Carolina, he came with me with the intention of just coming to visit friends. And then he was going to go back out. And he came home and he met a girl and that was it.
Are you kidding?
He has not auditioned or acted since. Yeah.
What? So is our little David Topp married with a family or what?
No, not yet. He's not married yet, but he's doing fine. He's just living a normal life. And let me tell you something that kind of freaked him out. All the directors who he worked with, several of them said he's the next Brad Pitt. And there was one director who worked with him who knew Robert Redford personally, had known Robert Redford for many years. And she said, he's the next Redford. He's got that same swagger and all of that. And then there was a day, it was after we had came back home and he called me and you could hear kind of a panic in his voice. And he said, Mom, 2 girls just came up to me in the store and said, are you David Topp? And he said, I don't want this. And so we had conversations. He had said many times over the years, I don't want to be the next Brad Pitt. I don't want to lose my anonymity. I don't want to be able to not walk into a grocery store or a movie theater. He's like, I don't want that. So I think that experience of, he loves it for the craft. And I've watched him and some of the happiest times of his life I've watched him has been on set. But he's not about the fame thing. He's not about that at all. He does say that at some point he will start acting again. But Eden Falls is mine, totally mine. When he first read the first rough draft back in early 2019, he left a note on my laptop which said, I want to be in this. But it's been all me. I've done it all by myself this time around. And he'll probably have a bit part, and like as maybe one of the search and rescue guys or something. And he may get back into acting. Who knows? But yeah, that's where he is right now. He's just been, he's enjoying just living a normal life.
What profession did he end up going to?
He's a Renaissance man. He's kind of a jack of all trades, but he turned into like a master carpenter and a mason. Like he can build anything.
Well, you can use that on the set for sure. Does he come and help you when you, or what will he come and help you when you get more into the production studio?
Oh, I'm sure he would. In fact, now that he has the knowledge that he has, I'm sure he would insist upon it. I could put him in charge of, I could just put him in charge of the construction.
Yeah. Well, you could just see from those clips, very talented. Isn't that interesting? He had what it took to make it. He did. He had it. He had the talent. He had the looks. He had the talent. And yet he has no interest in it. And then you have people that are, so they want to be celebrities and stars so bad they'll do anything, but they don't have the talent.
Right.
You never know. It's a mixed bag out here. You just don't know what's going to happen. But I always saw you two as the mother-son team. I thought for sure I was going to see you guys walking down the red carpet. Well, you know what? I probably still will.
We actually have. We've walked quite a few red carpets together. But Eden Falls is my baby.
Yeah. Oh, well, see how you give them a part and more of stuff. You tell them that Priscilla Leona said she wants to see him out on the acting floor again. Please
I
give
will
me
do
some.
it.
I miss David Topp.
I will
David Topp,
do it. And you know, you asked me to give some advice.
yeah, I want to first,
especially like,
yeah, actors. The first one I get. What advice would you give aspiring actors trying to break into film and television? That was my question, and then you can add yours.
I have a couple.
Okay.
One is be honest.
Yeah.
If a casting call says that you need to be able to ride horses, you need to be able to ride horses.
Yeah.
And not on the kiddie ride at the fair. We're talking about you need to ride. If you don't know how to ride, go take lessons.
Right.
The other thing is when you're on set, follow the rules, be professional, and treat every single person on set with the same respect you treat your director.
That's right.
Every single person.
Yeah.
And to really, because you never know who they're going to be.
That's right.
Aside from the fact that they deserve to be treated with respect because they're human beings, you never know who you're going to, that person cleaning up after craft services might be the UPM on your next set.
That's
You don't know.
It's so, my grandmother used to say, always be kind to everyone on your way up because you're going to see those same people on your way down.
Absolutely. But the other piece of advice is one that I heard Harrison Ford give years ago. When they asked him what was his success, he was a carpenter for many years. And his advice was, he was like, kid, just don't ever get off the bus. In other words, it's tenacity. It is tenacity, and success comes, I forget who said this quote, I'd have to look it back up. But success means being able to go from disappointment to disappointment to disappointment without a loss of enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's hard, isn't it? Now, this is your advice for directors. Okay. How do you ensure your creative vision is effectively communicated to both cast and crew?
Meetings. One of the best things that I did for Eden Falls is that I auditioned, especially for the three main characters. They sent in their first video to get my attention, whatever their reel was or any of that. And then I did my first audition. And if they were fit the part and did well, then we did a callback. But then we did chemistry tests where I put two together and see how those go. And then we did an interview process because I wanted to know what kind of people they are. I wanted to know how they work. And I wanted to tell them about how I work. And I wanted them to know things like, when you show up on set, I want to see what you have. I want you to give me what you've worked on. I want to see how you do it. And we'll roll film and we will shoot that. But I may shoot that same scene 8 more times and I may get you to do it differently for me every time. Can you do that without getting in your head and without getting frustrated thinking that you're not doing it right? Because it's not about doing it right. It's about me filming options when we get into the editing room, because tiny nuances can completely change a scene.
That's right.
But the best thing is just, that's why the biggest productions you'll hear, let's just take the Marvel universe, for example. There were people who may have auditioned or gone back, callbacks 12 times. You really need to know who your people are. And for me personally, as a producer and director, I really want people to know me, what I expect of them, and how I work, so that we can be a very cohesive team when we get on set. And that's the best thing I did for Eden Falls.
That's so true. Yeah,
and I ended up with a really, really lovely team of people.
Right. You when you audition someone, you don't really know who they are and who they're going to get along with, because they're always putting on their best face, and you only have a second for them to slate. You don't know who they are. I want lunch. I want you to buy my ass lunch. Let me see. Now, what advice would you give to aspiring directors who want to create content that resonates with emotionally with their audience?
The number one thing I believe that makes a good director is life and living life. And then if you want to take your experiences and all of your journeys through life, get on set, get on as many sets as you can be on. They're all of them look for help. All of them need help somewhere.
Yeah.
And try to work learn every job. Learn every job that you can. Learn it from the ground up. Know how a set works and know what each team needs. And again, just like with actors, treat people with respect. You know, don't play Hollywood. I've met far too many people who are playing a character of what they think Hollywood people are like. And I have met people with practically no credits who have egos bigger than Hollywood A-listers.
I know.
And I've met Hollywood A-listers who were as kind and humble, and they will reach back and give you a hand and pull you up because they know what the journey's like. Be authentic. Don't play a Hollywood character. Nobody likes the divas that show up.
Oh my God. You go to these parties out here, even at fundraisers, charity fundraisers, you have people who they'll be talking to you and then their eyes are darting around to like see who, you're like, where's the big shiny ball in the room? They just can't focus. And these are supposed to be actors and they can't even focus. You know, like when I met Keanu Reeves and I met Johnny Depp, one of the things that I've met, one of the things I found, because I have lots of celebrity friends, and here's what I found to be consistent. They all, when they're talking to you, Melanie, they have eye contact that never, ever diverts from your eyes. It doesn't matter who comes in the room, what's happening. Their focus is amazing.
To me, that's what's called being authentic. They are authentically listening to you. They're not scanning the room for who can give me a better opportunity than this person in front of me.
And as soon as I see people who do the eye dart and look for the shiny ball, I'm like, okay, that person will be taking the Greyhound bus back in a couple months. So you just know when you've been in the business for a long time, you just know who is going to make it and who has a shot at least to make it and who doesn't, you know.
I agree.
Now,
and you know, even the ones with the terrible egos, I don't know. I have my own theories. I started to say, you know, they might make a few big things, but you know, a lot of people are getting really tired of the divas and the egos, and you know, I think they're on their way out. I mean, because there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. People don't have to put up with that.
Yeah, I mean, look back at classic the Hollywood. You know, back in the old days, they'd sign a contract, and then the studios have to deal with these diva actors and actresses because they signed them to a contract. So they would kowtow to them, but you don't have to do that now because actors, directors, producers, people are a dime a dozen out here at least. So they're going to put out. And especially with AI now, we don't even need you, actor. We can just. Have you seen the AIs? You don't even know that they're not real people. My husband is obsessed with this, and he brings these things over, and I'm looking, and they're real people. And he said, no, they're not real people. These are actors. And he tells me about these AI projects, that AI apps that I swear you think they're real people, and they're not. They're AI. So you don't be giving anybody attitude and being diva, because you are replaceable in a matter of seconds.
Have you heard of the expression baptism by fire?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
My very first set, I was kind of baptized by fire because I had a young actress who I thought was a friend of mine, and I gave her the role without even an audition because I knew she was talented.
Yeah.
And big mistake. I had to learn the hard way. And now the industry greats, they know this. You can't give it to anybody. They have to work for it. They have to want it, and they have to work for it. So my first mistake was that I just gave it to her and thought she would appreciate it. And our third, it was a 7-day film shoot on a short film. And the third day in, I was sitting like on the floor with this carpet of papers and call sheets and, all of this stuff early in the morning before dawn, getting ready for a film shoot. And my assistant calls me and says, well, so-and-so's here, and she says she's not doing anything until you come talk to her because she has stuff to talk to you about. And I had a split second to make a call. And I said, well, you tell so-and-so that she needs to straighten up and fly right. And if she doesn't get to set right now, I am recasting her and reshooting all of her scenes.
Yeah.
She will be escorted off the set.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, she showed up and she shot everything she needed to shoot. And later, I asked my mentor, who was kind of helping me learn the business from the ground up, I said, what do you think? Was that stupid? Did I do the right thing? And she said, Melanie, that's the ballsiest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, I would have done it.
And she said, you absolutely did the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
And for me personally, it's just a matter of principle.
Yes, it is.
And there's too many talented people. You don't have to put up with these egos.
No, absolutely not. I am with you, Melanie. I would have ripped that weave right out of her head if she had one.
Well, thankfully, I was on the phone. I wasn't on set while it was happening.
I know. But if they have to be drugged by the hair, I'm going to do it. No, it don't be cell block H, but it's okay. That's all right. Any publicity is better than no publicity. So there you go. Last question is for producers. Your advice for producers. I don't know if I'm going to ask this because you gave this advice, but I feel like maybe there's more to get. I wanted to ask, what key factors should producers consider when assembling a strong production team? Like you already said,
oh my goodness.
You talked about
it's all about your team. It's all about your team.
It is all about the team. And I feel like you really covered that when you said, get to know them, have lunch with them, have dinner, because you have the flexibility to do that. You're not, necessarily with a studio that they don't have time to do that. That's the great thing about being an independent film producer is you can meet with them. I don't know if you agree with me. I think you would, but it is about word of mouth, and you can get a good team, but the chemistry has to be there. And just because they got along with your best friend and did a great job for your best friend doesn't mean your personality is going to go well. So
I've had that happen. I've taken on a couple of people who came from a trusted source who were recommended, and one of them almost destroyed my project. I literally almost destroyed all of my work.
Now, how do you avoid?
I'm sorry.
How do you think you avoid something like that? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because
this person was the only person that I did not personally vet. We were short on time. And there was we couldn't find a particular member. I won't say who it is because I don't want to divulge names and so forth, but we couldn't find a key person, and we kept trying, and they were all booked out. They were all booked out on other projects and stuff. And so at the last moment, someone who was a producer on my show sent me someone and said, call this person, I've seen them work on this and they seem great. And they came on my set and darn near destroyed it.
Oh my God, I know.
So that was my lesson. Nobody comes on board anymore without me personally.
No, you must vet people, Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
People know that I have lots of friends who are A-list casting directors, and you know what they do? They're always trying to have lunch with me or dinner. I don't want to have lunch or dinner with you because I know what you're up to. You're trying to use me for my connections. And these casting directors, if you I would love to help everybody, Melanie, like you would, right? But if you go and recommend people, every single body that you know, and it doesn't turn out to be a good experience, you're going to lose your friend or your connection that is a powerful connection in the business. I don't do it. I'm not recommending anybody unless I know for a fact they would be qualified for whatever that demand is. But it's really hard because you want to help it. I know I love to help people, so I want to help everybody, but I can't do it. And people will give you an attitude, Melody. It'll be like, I cannot believe she did not hook me up with
yeah. No. If I recommend somebody, I'm putting my name on that person.
That's right. It's your credibility on the line. And that's how everybody should feel, Melanie. You can't do it. You'd love to help everybody, but you just can't do it because
you won't last long in this business if you do that.
No. And everybody perfect example of that is what? American Idol. Well, I don't know if you ever watch it, but they go on there and the worst singers, they go on, they have so much excitement and they're so confident, cannot sing their ass out of a paper bag. But you know what? They are so damn confident that they can do it, right? But no, you cannot. And it does, everybody likes to think that they're gifted and talented, but unfortunately that's not always the case, and they can't see it because their family has said, oh my God, little Joey, you're so talented. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, isn't he great? And you get that star feeling. You think you are, and then reality hits you and then you have a mental breakdown. But we'd all like to be that way, right? But we can't.
Right.
Anyway, info.
Let me tell you a couple more things. You wanted advice, and also a big lesson that I learned, like putting people on tape and doing chemistry tests with other actors and getting to know your people. Don't ever hire anybody through just a video or a Zoom call.
No.
You have to meet people in person. You have to sit across the table from them. You have to look them in the eye. You have to feel their energy, and you'll get a sense for what their agenda is.
Right.
Don't ever hire anybody unless you have personally sat like at a table or something like that. And
unfortunately, my casting director friends tell me everything's being done now. All auditions are being done by EcoCast, right? So that's all they get is they don't, people very rarely are they being brought in, Melanie, out here. That's unheard of since COVID.
Well, for me, and especially like having a show that
you're lucky,
I hope is going to run for 15 years. It was part of my interview process, and I said, if you are offered a role in this television series, one of my prerequisites is, are you willing to sign a multi-year contract?
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of lessons from Heartland, because like I said, they're in the 18th or 19th season now.
I gotta watch that, Melanie. I've never even watched an episode.
Yeah. The pilot didn't grab me, but by episode 2 or 3, I was hooked. And I've binged every season. But what I learned is that, with a show like Heartland, who's got the same core cast together for that long, they're doing something right. And you have to have a successful show run that long and keep that core cast. You have to have people who like each other.
That's right.
Who nobody wants to come to work every day where people are fighting and spitting and scratching. So, that's another piece. So, for me personally, if I'm going to cast somebody, I'm not casting somebody unless I've met them in person.
You have to, and you've got to be, it's not just about the talent, but you've got to share the same business mentality too. You got to have the same goal for the producers and directors and the crew, because you got to all be on the same goal, and you really got to get along, and that's so hard. I just started watching. People are going to say, what the hell's wrong with you? I just started watching Grey's Anatomy. I was never interested in it when it came out. I don't know why. I just wasn't. And I just started watching it because I got tired of people saying, Melanie, what's wrong with you? That show's been on over 20 years. Why haven't you watched it? So I just started watching it. But what I remember is how people over the years were saying they could not, God, I don't want to say her name. One of the actresses in the original first season, they said she was the most difficult actress to get along with. They hated her. Everybody complained. And I'm looking at her and I'm going, God, she's such a great actress. I don't know what they're talking about. But see, you never know, because most people just see what they see on the screen, and they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So you do.
Right.
Yeah. I highly recommend what Melanie is saying, people. You gotta meet these actors and directors and producers in person. Even, I'll tell you another thing. I'm asked a lot to help my friends fund their projects, and I donate money often. And but you even have to vet for that, or else you're going to end up with your cash going nowhere. You got to vet the people. One of the ways to do that is if you're asked to help donate on a film or whatever you're asked to do, you got to go on IMDb and you got to look at the person. Has this person had previous projects? Have they won awards? Have they, what? You just have to vet them as well. You can't just help everybody. It has to be a project that you believe in and that you think it's going to go somewhere, right?
Right. Well, here's another part of that to piggyback off of that. I've had people come to me to say, Melanie, I've got connections and they can help you get this show made. And they'll send me these people's IMDb link. They'll be producers. And of course, I go check them out as well as I can. And when I go on to IMDb, whatever they've made, I mean, obviously they have to have made projects. And like you said, they have to have won awards. But whatever they've made, I need it to be in alignment with what I make.
Right.
When I'm there, I've seen things on there that people have made. People promise me, oh yeah, they're producers, they can help you get their show made. And then when I look at some of the things they're making, I'm like, yeah, I can't really be aligned with that person.
Yes, it's so true. You can't, because a lot of people out here or anywhere, I guess, their main goal is to get a credit on IMDb. So what they do, and that's a big pet peeve of mine, is people who go around and collect money. They start the IMDb page. They say in production, in pre-production, and as soon as they get the credits and they can't get any more money, they bail. It stays in pre-production forever, and they just bail, move on to something else, and they just have gotten the money. A lot of people, I hate to say it out here, but you got to be careful. A lot of people go around and collect money and say it's for their project, and then they end up using it for their utility bills or their rent or their food. I've seen it. It's happened to me a million times. I no longer do that. I'm not falling for a sob story, but you got to be very, very careful. So make sure the person is on IMDb. They've had awards. They've had a cast. They're continuously working, and they have credibility. Look up their social media sites.
Take a page out of the Clint Eastwood playbook. He is one of those people who has really curated an amazing team of people. It's why you can't get a job on his sets, because he has spent so many years curating a team of people who are reliable and accountable and professional and get the job done. So basically it's hire slow and fire fast.
Mm-hmm.
And get your team. And when you find the diamonds in the rough, boy, you hang on to those people, whatever you have to do.
Right. Keep them on your team. Well, Melanie, we're all out of time. I just want to go over the website again. It's TopScotProductions.com, YouTube, Filmmaker, Melanie Star Scot, Facebook at Top Scot Productions, Instagram at Top Scot. She's on IMDb. She has a newsreel on Vimeo and on GoFundMe, which is where we really want to go. What is the project named under GoFundMe?
I think it's just under my name. I think if you just go to GoFundMe and put my name in there, it'll pop up.
Fantastic. Everybody go to her sites, Eden Falls, look for it, and hopefully she'll be keeping us abreast of the project, and when it's out, we'll let you know, or it could be coming to a festival near you. Melanie, say goodbye to your fans.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you for listening. Question Reality with Melanie Star Scot, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona.